Welcome to A Minute or Two with the Word. I'm your host, Torah Teacher Ariel, where every few days we take a look at a relevant passage of Scripture that I find very fascinating and important for us to consider as Jews and Gentiles in Messiah. Let's talk about Galatians 2:16. Let's read the ESV English and then the SBLG&T Greek. Quote, "Knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ, even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified." Now let's go back and read the SBLG&T version of the Greek. Edates de hatiu dikaiutai anthropos ex ergo namu, ian me diapistios Iesu Christu, kai hemes eis Christon Iesun epistusamen, hina dikaiothomen ek pistios Christu, kai uk ex ergon namu, hati ex ergon namu, u dikaiothesetai pasa sarx. The Greek term for works of the law is ergon namu, literally works law, or if we smooth it out, we could say law works. Either way, the article is missing, i.e. works of the law, but that doesn't really affect the meaning of the phrase itself. The best interpretation of this phrase lies in what we can discover from history and from the Bible as a whole. If we dig into the socio-religious background of Paul's famous phrase works of the law, what we can learn, especially from Qumran's 4QMMT document, as well as from the surviving rabbinic literature, is that works of the law is not merely a description of works. What Paul is really talking about is in actuality a technical phrase that the Judaisms employed to speak of the socio-religious and ethnic boundary markers that separated Jews from Gentiles. Indeed, the prevailing view of the sages of the first century held to the common belief that Jewish Israel and Jewish Israel alone shared a place in the world to come. Thus, in their way of thinking, if a non-Jew wished to enter into God's covenant blessings and promises, such a person had to take on legal Jewish status, which granted covenant membership, and then exercise maintenance of existing covenant membership by ongoing loyalty and obedience to the Torah. To be sure, this is also one of the primary arguments delineated in the letter to the Galatians. But for Paul, no such man-made conversion policy existed in Scripture. So in closing, what I want you to know from this verse is that, by contrast, Paul taught most assuredly that Gentiles were grafted into the remnant of Israel the same way that Abraham was counted as righteous by God in Genesis chapter 15. And what was that? Faith in the promised word of the Lord, viz. Yeshua.